This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Yes, I'm ready for the event.
Hey guys, it's Bling Bling. Now before you jump on the conspiracy train, let me just say that no, this is not an all-seeing eye. This is actually a photograph of me. No, not the eye, the reflection in the eye. You see me holding the camera? You can even see my pool and some palm trees. The reason I did this was to show you how easy it actually is to see a reflection in a reflective surface. This first image is a reflection from a science experiment that Serena Anyan Chancellor was doing. Notice the white mask. Here we have Peggy in her spacesuit. Notice the eye, and it's covered with a white mask. Here's another reflection of someone in a white mask. Here's the same person. It was an experiment that Thomas was doing. Here is an image of a reflection from an iPad. Two individuals in masks. As you can see, a light travels around. Thomas is not moving. This is not a screenshot. Thomas purposely had this iPad on his leg so we could see what he was doing. I'm sure of it. For whatever reason, Thomas has on so many occasions allowed us to see the reflections. Can you see it? Can you see what we're looking at right now? There's a person with a white hat on. Is it mockery? Does NASA purposely put these reflections in? Does someone working behind the scenes do it? Why would that be there? One thing is for certain, that is very creepy. It's perplexing. Why are these images constantly in these reflections? Over and over again. And once again, a reflection in a helmet, and this was a high-definition photograph that NASA placed right onto their website. This veiled, pale-faced image is wearing a headdressing that was worn by Dagon, which was the fish god of the Philistines and the Babylonians. Thomas has come through for us. This is from the Soyuz launch. He's in the rocket, and he's not alone. And I don't mean other astronauts. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but you'll see in a moment. That is a doorway. It's just turned sideways. And the people are turned sideways. Just bear with me, and you will start to understand what exactly it is that we are looking at. The Soyuz is a tiny little space. There's no way that you could fit a camera crew in there This is a reflection of the side of a man's head. You can see his dark hair. You can make out his eye, his nose, his chin, his ear. This is a man's face. Let that sink in. They're supposed to be traveling to the space station on a rocket. And instead, they're sitting in some room where they're being filmed. There is two shapes of people. You can make them out. They're not the best image, but you can make them out. But there's no denying that face, side of someone's face, on the Soyuz. And this is the clip, and watch how he pushes the button so forcefully, making sure that mirror moves. Do you know how many thousands of people saw this image? Did you notice the room out the window? Did you? Sunny Williams decides to unmask that helmet and show it off. And the reflections in there are pretty mind-blowing. So, sorry to whoever challenged me, but yeah, they fake everything, honey, including these long tours. It's a show. It's a production. This is propaganda. This is not real life.
Usually go out like this, so you usually can see when the helmet's open. So you can see what it looks like inside. Somebody's little head would be inside of here. So you can see, you can turn your head all the way around while you're inside.
Yeah, I know some of you are going to say, oh, those are astronauts. And that's fine. But watch what happens next. Why would they go away to be replaced by something else?
It looks like inside. Somebody's little head would be inside.
Notice how the image got brighter and then changed to that. Do you see this other image, what looks like the side of a head? And how about that doorway to the right of the head? Do you see the doorway? Keep watching it, because in a moment she's going to put down the mirror sunglass visor, and you're going to see the cameraman standing on the floor holding the camera. And before you skeptics start saying, oh, well, he's probably floating, they don't have doorways large enough to stand up right on the space station. And don't you think it'd be really awkward to be able to be balancing a large camera with just one hand and filming at the same time while you're trying to use the other hand to stop yourself from floating around, all at the same time trying to video someone without having your footage be all over the place? It would be impossible to do that. Looks a little familiar from this training video, doesn't it?
This is right here, which make you look pretty cool.
Welcome to the International Space Station. I'm NASA astronaut Mark Vandehei. Today, we're going to talk about Newton's third law. How do you think it will hold up in microgravity?
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This means that in every interaction between two objects, there are a pair of opposite forces acting on each object at the same time. A force pair.
Well, Mr. Newton, it didn't hold up. That is, the wire didn't hold up. Because when Mark Vanderheim comes back from the corner, he goes right through the wire. And it doesn't move. So, what do you call that? Newton's Law 3.1, I guess. And you thought I didn't know physics. But before you kill me, watch this video, where I show you once again that NASA is nothing but a bunch of...
Over a period of a couple hours, we're finally able to open the hatch. You can see that probe is now retracted back in, and after being in that small space for a long time, we're very happy to finally get out.
That's why you always see the smiling faces when astronauts come out of their Soyuz. It's tight, and we'll show you a little bit later that
No, that's called Duper's Delight. Do you see something really wrong with this photo? Look at the wall. The hatch is smashed into the wall. Didn't the space station cost $500 billion with the best engineers in the world? And they didn't think to make an opening for the hatch to open into?
it's tight.
And speaking of the hatch,
we'll show you a picture.
not only is the wall crunched in and the floor cockeyed, but the hatch is dented. Yep, I said it. The hatch is dented. Look right here. And what's this gap? It looks like someone just jammed that right in there. So we have a $500 billion machine with gaps, a cockeyed floor, a hole in the wall, and these idiots.
Now that we've reached the end of Expedition 56, we want to thank...
Oh, check out Russia's finest in the back row. Oh my word, creeper. Is that Charles Lawton from The Hunchback of Notre Dame? Okay, maybe not, but that guy is so creepy. Does that look like your finest and brightest, highly educated? I don't think so.
Remember the bond that we both share as geophysicists. This is an anorthosite phenocryst from Mount Erebus in Antarctica. I know that you have many of these and some have flown in space, but surely not one given by a fellow geophysicist and fellow ISS commander while actually in space. So congratulations.
If you give someone a gift, don't you normally know where you got it from? He literally had to read that it was from Antarctica. Well, it looks like the hole's still there. Scott Tingle jams his foot right in there. I see something moving. His foot is in there. Floor is still cockeyed. The gap is still there. It's so embarrassing. But you know what's even more embarrassing? Is the way the Russians speak to their cosmonauts. Okay, maybe it's in the translation, or maybe it's cultural difference. But just listen to the way Sergei is spoken to by his superiors.
Sergey, please keep in touch with us all the time. Okay, copy. And you go to the vehicle and close the hatches. And please continue running commentary as you close the hatches. Okay? That's all. Okay, go on.
Do you remember what I said about the brightest? Well, there's a great example. He's got that deer in the headlights look. And she's, the way she speaks to him. All right, go on. Go on. Go on, little 5-year-old. So we've got Thomas, my favorite actor, holding glass cylinders that I believe to be real because there is a real reflection. Who's the dude in the baseball cap? See the head circle pointing to the baseball cap? Also got an arrow pointing to his hand holding the camera. And you can see his waist area right there. And his other hand. Why the black outfit? And what's going on in the background? It looks like another area, a larger area. That's much larger than a module. Look at that background. Guys, we know that this is not filmed on some space station orbiting the Earth. This is probably filmed in Star City because that's the last place the astronauts are seen before they rocket off. I.S.S, or as I have now renamed it, the B.S.S, full of ridiculous hair and full of parabolic flight. Yeah, that's that zero-G plane that people can take for around $5,000, where you can experience what an astronaut feels when you're falling out of the sky in an airplane and the plane is falling just a little bit faster than you are, and you rise up. And what happens when you do that is your hair often flops about, but it certainly never stands straight up on end, like how the actor nuts on the B.S.S likes to pretend that their hair just magically stands on end. It doesn't happen. Watch this clip of parabolic flight and see for yourself. Okay, have you seen enough yet? I know I'm drilling this in really hard, but you need to really understand. Hair does not do this or this. It just doesn't do it. It doesn't stand straight up or this. And the reason that they do this is because of the difference between being parabolic and then being non-parabolic. You would notice the change in the hair from hair falling to hair not falling. So to join the gap, they fixate the women's hair to stand straight up all the time. So there would be never any controversy over how the hair appears. It's always standing straight up. But I guess they didn't figure out that people could be this smart to figure out something so obvious. And I guess they never thought that we'd ever be able to go on these zero-G rides for ourselves. NASA certainly thought a lot, but they never thought about how capable we are as people, especially people that have banded together in one mind, in belief of one thing, that they're lying about space, that there is no International Space Station, that it's all one big hoax.
So I guess it's just a one dish at a time sort of thing, huh?
The good part is, like a lot of meals on space station, it tasted fine. It's just you had to eat things individually. But the taste is good. You sort of use your mouth as a bowl and just mix stuff up and eat it. It's not the same, but it's all right. Hey, tell you what, so you can see, what we're facing here in weightlessness. We'll take our asparagus and we'll take it and go rehydrate it, and then you can see what it's like to eat asparagus.
Yeah, Chris Hadfield, why don't you do that? Why don't you fly on up there and show us what it's like to eat in space? Because we're all so anxious to watch you. Watch more trickery.
So,
keep your eye on the spinning ball. Guys, what is one of the first things you ever learned? I always said, the hand is quicker than the eye. Well, in this case, it's true. Because all they ever want to do on the space station is have you watch whatever they are spinning in their hands. It's always the same. This show never changes its format.
Asparagus.
They've always got some little thing spinning, and they want you to watch. But I want you to watch something else. So don't watch what he's doing with his hands. I want you to watch the top right corner.
Around the outside.
There is a pair of scissors. They're very motionless right now, but they're there. They're right next to the edge of a blue, something blue that's sticking down. And you just saw the scissors move just a little bit. Keep your eye on those scissors. Don't take your eyes off of them while Chris is cutting open the pack of asparagus and disgustingly licking off those scissors. Keep your eye focused on those scissors and watch the real magic in space happen.
You don't want to load your spoon up too much or the food will fly everywhere. So imagine trying to mix other food in with this when the package is already this full. It really just, it's not possible.
Edit.
And you can't really hold 2 of these or 3 of these at once.
Two
so you
edits.
kind of just need to eat one and then eat another.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Eight.
Pac-Man. Uh-oh. Asparagus explosion. Mm.
9. Keep watching those scissors. 10. 11.
One last piece of asparagus,
12.
we'll eat it upside down. Just because we can.
There you go, guys.
That is fascinating.
That's the real
Complications with
magic
eating in
of
microgravity
space.
were not what I expected, but
editing.
I think now we have a really good
And they
picture
have
of
to
it.
edit.
So what's that mean for
because
a
they
trip
can
to Mars?
only do
They'll be underway for
cycles
like
of
6
28
months.
seconds.
These take
in
up a lot of
the
room,
parabolas.
packaging.
They
So I'm
cannot
not
go
sure
longer than that.
That all your food can be
So
prepared
it probably
this way.
takes
I think
them
you're gonna
all
have to
day long, maybe a week,
figure out a different system. Have
to
good
make
refrigeration,
one
have
little
bulk foods.
video. Certainly, probably
Maybe
longer
prepare
than
your
it
foods
took
in some
me to
sort
make
of
this
centrifuge
video.
to get a little bit of gravity.
But it's always the same gang.
Where I think you're gonna have to grow food on
They
route.
get you interested,
You need
they
a
get you
regular
watching
cycle
their
of things.
hands,
You can't just package everything.
and they're
It takes
always
6 months to get to
spinning
Mars.
and
That's a
twirling
lot of asparagus
something.
packets.
And then the edits start.
See you next week.
Every time, guys.
Bye, Chris.
Next
Bye.
victim.
Made.
Okay, what's she
Far
going to
from
do?
being a
She's going to
masterpiece. I've
spin
discovered several
and throw
challenges
at
with
you
cutting
a piece of
and
cloth
twisting
that she's
and
made.
stitching and weightlessness.
And it's pretty
But
disgusting.
it was made in
But
space.
listen to what she says.
I'll be bringing this block back with me when I return to Earth, and I'm inviting all of you to create your own star-themed quilt blocks. We'll be combining them with my block to create a quilt for next year's 40th anniversary International Quilt Festival in Houston, where I hope to make a special appearance. If you're interested in participating in this fun project, all the important details are available at this year's festival. I can't wait to see what we make together.
I'm sorry. Couldn't help myself. Okay, watch the pixelation. Now watch her right leg. You see her pant leg? Watch it again in slow motion. You see the pixelation of her stupid little quilt square. But now you're going to see her pant leg on her left leg facing the screen. Look what it's doing. It's flopping over. What happened to her G-force? Her magical force that causes everything to stand straight up. Forgot about that. Okay, next. Here's a bunch of flashy video. See that flash? Flash. That's an edit. Flash. Each time you see a flash, it's an edit. And watch the ridiculousness of her putting water on her hair. Yet no water seems to be going to her hair. It looks to me that the water that she barely squirted out all just drifted away from her. Watch her try to capture it back and wet her hair, but it doesn't happen. And then we're going to see edit. Oh, magic. Look, wet hair. Wow, how did that happen? Amazing. Flash. She's now turned the screen sideways. Shampooing. Got to put that shampoo on that filthy, dirty head. Flash. Now she's facing forward. How is this? Flash. Different angle again. Each edit represents the end of a parabolic flight and the beginning of a new one. You see, they can't reposition the actor in the same spot that they were standing in when it all stopped. They just can't start and stop this perfectly every time. So that's why they always have some gimmick to have you watching. This time they really didn't, because she's not using her hands that much. But you see the flashes. Those are edits. And once you start seeing them, they become so crystal clear that you can't stop seeing them. All you see is flash, flash, flash. It just gets ridiculous. But not as ridiculous as the lies that they're spinning to us, making us believe that there's magical I.S.S. in the sky to hide the real information from you. And we all know that they're hiding this because there is no space. We live on a flat plane. And this lady is all in on the gag, trying to reinforce the indoctrination that started when we were children, telling us that we lived on a spinning ball. She's probably upside down, and that's the reason why her hair is standing straight up like that. That's my take on it. But there could be some kind of an uptake valve, something that's causing her hair to be sucked up. I don't know, but you can see those flashes, and every time you see a flash, her body position has changed afterwards, or her hair position has changed. They can never line it up perfectly. They should never have tried to do this video because it was too difficult, because her hair is just all over the place. But they tried. I give them a big fat F for failure on this video. But good for us flat earthers, because this is the kind of material that I just gobble up. Because now that eyes have been opened, I can't stop seeing this. And I see all the edits now. You see her whole body shift out of position? The instant replay here, I've slowed things down for you, so you can see for yourself the flash and then the change of body position. Wait for it, it's coming. There we go. Did you see? It's like they put a transition in between the cut of the edit. There's another flash, body position changes. It's the same like when we make these videos. We edit, we put transitions in between the slides. There's no special magic required. It's pretty simple. And it's like they use the transition of overexposed film transition. Maybe that's what it was called. You see that? It reminds you of when you've got an overexposed photograph. That's the transition that they used, because it's always the same one each time. And then when that passes by, boom, her body position has changed. Wow, the magic of the I.S.S. Now it's the bullshit station. And we're all on to you, NASA. Your days are numbered. Because one day everyone will know about what you've been doing with our $50 million a day. And I want mine back. I want the money back that I paid for this pathetic show that you've been putting on. That and your fake moon landing and your ridiculous fake Curiosity landing on Mars with your rodent in the picture. It seems like NASA can never get it right. They always have to make a mistake. It's like they're just dangling it right in our face. Look at my ridiculous Medusa hair. Ha ha, look at me, how silly and stupid I look. But people are all sleeping. They're all believing this. And it just goes on and on. Look at that hair. Oh, come on. They're all space monkeys. And that's all I have to say on it. Now, this is very disturbing. Just watch this video. You're finally going to see the fourth wall. And just watch, and I'll talk about it afterwards.
Yes, I'm ready for the event.
Parkdale Elementary School, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Well, there you have it. I don't even know what to say. That was so disturbing. I'm not sure what I was looking at, but I think we see the puppeteers, because those actors are the puppets. And as mad as I am at them, they're really not the ones that are pulling the strings. We have just seen our first images of the people actually pulling the strings. and they're wearing masks, and they're very evil, devilish looking masks. And I would guess that they're doing that so the actors don't even know who they are. You know, a simple balaclava would have sufficed, but no, they had to keep this masquerade going by wearing the most devilish looking masks that they could find. I hate ending my video on such a depressing note, but yet we finally have our first real pictures of the fourth wall. And as demonic as it is, we need to face it for what that is. So I just hope that this video gets seen a lot so people can see that. And like I said, the creator of the video, I will put a link so you can go directly to his site, because I'm not taking any credit for that. I was sent that video today and watched it, and it's just very heavy on my heart now, seeing the demonic force behind all of this. It's so much bigger than us. I don't know what we're ever going to be able to do to stop this madness, but I hope that someone does something really, really soon. So NASA does a lot of events, and allegedly they receive science experiments onto the space station where they are all performed in zero gravity. Various schools all over the world send in their best experiments. So these are schools like kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, and colleges and universities. So this young lady had her experiment, which is a little round metal track with a ball to show gravity. And something this simple would have been very easy for Tim to stand there and put the ball in the track and push the ball and show everyone how the ball just goes around and around. But instead of doing that, the experiment was pre-recorded, and I'm not even clear if it was actually played at the event or not where these young people showed up. But it was definitely recorded, and maybe the reason they didn't want to show it is because there are a lot of problems, mostly with the green screen.
Demonstrate physics here on Earth, and it's a track and a ball. Just show us what actually happens there. And gravity's really just pulling that ball back down. Now, Tim has actually done the same experiment. You've got the video of you demonstrating what happens when you're in microgravity with exactly the same kit. We don't seem to have a video, unfortunately, but the ball the ball does continue all the way around. Just explain, Tim, what's happening. But we've got the video of you demonstrating what happens when you're in microgravity with exactly the same kit. We don't seem to have a video, unfortunately, but the ball seems to have a video, unfortunately, but the ball can.
And obviously he can't do the experiment right in front of them because you're faking this. Watch his hand. That's impossible. It's a solid circular object. There's no opening in it. What he should have done is taken his right hand and moved it straight out towards the wall and down. But he's kind of gotten lost where the object is, and he ends up putting his hand too forward, and he's cut right into the object. Do you see the circles? That is the green screen showing up right through his hand, because that little gadget is made with little rows of metal that's like in between the rows of the metal showing through his hand. This is all impossible, guys. Here we go again. His hand is supposed to be behind that, not in front of it. Okay? You do see this, right? I know that there are going to be people that tell me that I'm wrong. Look at that. His hand is passing right through it because it's not there. And how funny that they actually used a gridded green screen to do the experiment. So it's just so funny. But I'm going to get people that are going to tell me that I'm crazy and that I need to not breed. And right through it goes. People didn't notice it because it was going relatively fast. And anyone that knows how I do my videos, I study footage for hours. And I noticed something unusual in this footage. And there it was. Hand going right through it. Look at the palm of the hand. You can see the metal. Look at the holes in the hand. That's the green screen. I just have a filter on here to darken the background. This is green screen, people. This is not real. Even looking at that metal thing when you look at it. Look how it's going behind the grid. Do you see that? It's going behind the grid. This is trickery. This is an illusion. Have you ever watched Chris Angel? He can make an elephant disappear and bring it back. Has anyone ever watched Zachary King? You would be amazed what he can do with special effects on the various computer programs that he uses. Look him up, Zach King. Mind-blowing. So this is nothing compared to what he can do. Yet you're always, it's impossible. How could they do this? They're doing it right now. Do you see that? This is what they're doing. Haters always say, but they're floating. How could they have harnesses? They don't have harnesses that can do this. I hear all kinds of reasoning from people who they're just not looking at this objectively because you really want to believe it's real. And I bet there are going to be people on this video that are going to tell me that I'm wrong, that this is real. I could have an astronaut make a full confession and you wouldn't believe him. It's really sad. You love space that much. Well, like I say in some of my videos, some people are just not meant to see this. Maybe you're one of them. And if that's true, please don't come back to my channel. I don't want to hear your rants. I don't want to read your threats. It's pointless.
The most surprising to you? I think it's really interesting because, of course, many of the questions that Tim gets are, you know, how do you go to the toilet and things like that. But it's really, really great to hear about that side of things because you don't often hear about all the experiments that he does. So it's great to hear the technical and science questions.
And that's actually really the point of him being there, isn't it?
And also there's a huge educational side. So I know one of the experiments that was demonstrated there with the ball going around in the thing, that was all to do with education. So filming these videos for students here in the UK to be shown so they can understand the physics.
Yeah, that ball spinning sort of didn't look real to me.
No, it didn't. It's the first time we've seen footage of it as well.
Yeah, that ball spinning round, Lewis. That was interesting, wasn't it? Because it sort of didn't look real to me.
No, it didn't. It's the first time we've seen footage of it as well.
Sort of didn't look real to me.
No, it didn't. It's the first time we've seen footage of it as well.
No? Macareno. No? Okay.
This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is. Oh, oh.